Hello, I'm Inga Jankauskiene from Vilnius, Lithuania. It is not simple for Lithuanian to speak about the pagans, as we have several things related to that in mind. There are A. The movement of modern pagans in Lithuania, and B. The so-called pagan and music of Bronius Kudavičius related to the pagans. We refer to this data for explanation of the paganism development in Lithuanian music. Modern pagan movement in Lithuania is related to the name of Romovė, dedicated from the 6th century in Prussia, the pagan Astian temple called Romovė, and operating in the former land of Balts. The terms of the movement have already been in the 19th century, when people sought the national rebirth of Lithuania. It is nice to mention that precisely in the Congress of the representatives of the old European religions, which took place in Vilnius in 1997, and organization World Congress of Ethical Religions was established here. The chairman of the Congress was Jonas Trinkūnas. The movement of modern paganism, uniting ethnic communities, now is spread in all the world. Music accompanying modern pagan movement. The pagan folk movement can nowadays be related to new archaeological data about the life of pagans and active work of various musical groups of post-folklore Baltic culture. The folklore group of the ancient pagan rituals Kūlgrinda was established in 1990 on the initiative of pagan priest Jonas Trinkūnas, who died this year. The group reconstructs and performs the pagan Baltic folklore, psalms and songs, which given modern features. The ensemble plays the traditional Baltic instruments, psaltery, bagpipes, drums, panpipes. In music, the group seeks archaic sound. The wear clothes of the 10th-11th centuries, paired with brass jewelry. Their wide discography consists of 9 CDs, starting with the CD Kūlgrinda 1996 and moving on to the Psalms of Žemyna produced in 2013. Let's listen to Kūlgrinda music. They song Prussian song Prūsa tu sestrika.
Prūsa tu sestrika pereis, pereis. Prūsa tu sestrika pereis, pereis. Svaise lunkis da bernis nekauta. Svaise lunkis da bernis nekauta. Tvaise pamiris nas da bernis mirita. Tvaise pamiris nas da bernis mirita. Stas laukas sakykas da bernis dirita. Stas laukas sakykas da bernis dirita.
Group Atalyja is known as the Lithuanian folklore and world music group, folk rock band. They play music for over 15 years. Most importantly, it performs old Lithuanian folk, Salender, war historic, wedding songs, archaic glees, sutartinės, reminded of pagan time. Atalia music play is characteristic of the Lithuanian folklore archives and synthesis with the music of other genres, Indian classical, instrumental, various rock genres, classical, folk, blues, metal, progressive rock, etc., and jazz improvisation. Their music composition embodies contrast Lithuanian folk music ingeniously connected with electric and bass guitars as well as rock percussion instruments. Exceptional sound for the music play of the ensemble is given by Indian instruments, Eastern shade given cross bamboo flute and pia drums. Let's listen to Gervelė by Atalia. Pagan-like music by Bronius Kutavičius. Influenced by the heritage of pagan balls in Lithuania, there are born not only the so-called pop groups, but various artworks such as modern picture about the brave Prussian leader Herkus Mantas, 1962 film director Giedrys, or the opera Pilėnai, 1955 by Vytautas Klova, telling about the pagans who burned themselves in the castle in 1336 when they were surrounded by crusaders. Ruthenian folk songs won the greatest storages of Baltic heritage, which is referred to by the art creators professionals. The brightest Lithuanian composer Bronius Kutavičius, with the author of the verse Sigitas Geda, in their works of which the level of pagan balls is interpreted in a peculiar way. These authors found Baltic pantheist and pagan topics for their compositions. Thus, the musicologist of the composers, Gražina Daunoravičienė, has named Kutavičius as the author of musical Pagan ball culture studies in music. In these early pagan works there are 5 oratorios: pantheistic oratory, the last pagan rites, from the Yatvingan stone, the world tree, and the magic Sanskrit cycle. In the later created compositions of Bronius Kutavičius, one can also find some pagan motifs. For example, in his opera The Bear and in Ste Diptych Ignis et Fides, Fire and Belief. In every of the mentioned works, the time of creation covers the period of the 30 years. It started with the pantheistic oratory, in which one begins speaking about the pagan bulls as if from the distance. This can be related with the aforementioned movement of 1967-1971, refreshed together with the movement of regional studies. Pantheistic oratory is being related to the first step of the composer Bronius Kutavičius to the pagan prehistory. It is written in a characteristic aleatoric technique which is supplemented with sonorous episodes. The so-called pagan pantheism is declared through the creative freedom of expression in music and poetic text. In other pagan called oratorios of this author, in each of them national problems are revealed. The oratory from Yatvingan stone refreshes the pagan rituals which give sense to music play, with the stones, the so-called sounding idiophones, various Lithuanian folk music instruments, shooting musicians in Yatvingan language, and the climax ended with the Lithuanian song. This work emphasizes the transition in time from ancient ages when Yatvingi lived to contemporary world with Lithuanian songs. Let's listen for the beginning of the oratory from the Yatvingan stone. Every of 5 early pagan oratories of Bronius Kutavičius goes deeper into the pagan prehistory and ontological questions. Pagans are treated as pantheists, participating in their religious rituals and magic transformations of the arbor vitae. While analyzing the music of Bronius Kutavičius, we take part in pagan movement, which begins with his oratorios and melts in his stage music. In the opera Lokys, the Bear, we could see mysterious shaman-like pagan old woman. She sings song with a strange, incomprehensible speech. We could see the changes according to the woman, from the stranger in the beginning of opera to the helper in the end of it. The prophetic by this woman becomes true. The Count Shemeta turns to the wolf who was shot in the end of opera. In the diptych Ignis et Fides, we could see pagan fight with the Christians who came to pagan lands for Christianization of free pagan tribes. They fight with Christians in the first part of it, and the angry king Mindaugas who was baptized. The aforementioned musical works of Bronius Kutavičius is an obvious evidence of fluctuation of pagan treating, analogous to the movement through the pagan world history. Conclusions. The main idea of the article was the vitality of the pagan movement. Speaking about paganism, I have distinguished 2 levels of this study. They are: first, modern and public pagan movement, which is alive in the music of pop groups of Lithuania. It is Kūlgrinda, Atalija, and the expressive folklore group Žalvarinis. Second, the art is related to the ancient pagans. It is works by composer Bronius Kutavičius, in particular his oratorios, opera The Bear, and diptych Ignis et Fides.